Leadership is risky business. My husband and I went skydiving for our 30th wedding anniversary. As you can imagine, we both were a little nervous. As we approached the plane, I asked the instructor, "Have you ever lost anybody?" "Well," he says, "nope, I think we found about everybody." It helps to have someone with a sense of humor when you're about to jump out of an airplane into the unknown. You, as leaders, make decisions every day that involve some amount of risk because we can't always be certain of the outcome. And the truth is, leadership is risky business. And my message to you today is prepare yourself and take the leap. I've developed a model that I'd like to share with you called the LEEPS model. L, look at your goals. What is it that you're hoping to accomplish? What do you envision the future looking like if everything works out as you hope that it will? In my case, my goal was to jump out of an airplane with someone tethered to my back, he literally had my back, and land safely on the ground. I was clear about my goal, and I knew that it was not an unrealistic risk because I had talked with people who had done this before, and I knew that they had done it successfully, and so could I. The second letter is examine. Examine your values. What's motivating you to take this risk? I coached a young woman once who had a supervisor whom she described as a micromanager. She wanted to have a conversation with him, and yet she was fearful of doing so. So when I asked her, what values are motivating you to have this conversation with him, it gave her pause to stop and think. Once she identified honesty, independence, and compassion as the motivating values, she began to think, I do want to do this in order to help our relationship. So by identifying her values, she was clear what was motivating her, and it was coming out of a sense of wanting to be a better employee and someone who was more highly motivated and productive. The third letter and the second E is evaluate. Evaluate your options. Ask yourself, what do you have to lose by taking this risk, and what do you stand to gain? Oftentimes, the risk is more in our mind than based in reality. One of the things that coaches often help people with is looking at options and looking at the cost and benefit of the options. We can get tunnel vision, which prevents us from seeing options that are available, but we just haven't realized it. The fourth letter of the model is P. Plan for success. Ask yourself, what would success look like? What would I be doing? What would I be saying? I coached a gentleman once who had just been promoted to a manager. He was fearful of speaking to his own supervisor about the kind of job he was doing. So I invited him to think about success in that conversation with his supervisor. Once he began to get his brain around the idea of a successful conversation, he wasn't limited by all of the negative thoughts he was having and by the fear that he had. Of course, his fear was that the manager would say, "John, take a hike." But he didn't, because John approached the situation with a positive outlook, planning for success. And that performance review turned out to be a very positive, productive experience. The fifth letter is S for study. Study people who have done what you are considering doing. Talk to them about their experiences. Find out what the outcome was. And also study statistics. Before I went skydiving, I called Skydive Orange in Orange County, Virginia, to talk with them about their safety record. I talked with them about their equipment, I talked with them about how their instructors were trained, and I also learned that in their 25+ years in business, they had never had a fatality. So I felt very confident that I would be able to take that risk. So let's summarize the LEEPS model. L, look at your goals. E, examine your values. The second E, evaluate your options. P, plan for success. And S, study other people and the statistics. Leadership is risky business. But you as leaders must learn how to lead yourself before you can lead others. Many decisions will seem daunting because you don't know the outcome. In both our personal and professional lives, we have to decide whether we're going to continue doing what we've always done or take a risk that might set us in a new direction. If we don't take risks, there won't be growth. We have to be able to take leaps into the unknown if we're going to lead others forward. I've just shared with you 5 strategies and some questions that will help you as you contemplate making a difficult decision. I urge you to use these 5 strategies. Leadership is risky business, so prepare yourself and take the leap.